City Boxing, accusing David Morrell of head use again. You know, he basically said that David Morrell still refusing to take the drug test. Says that he's a gym rat. He's a lab rat, meaning he got tested. He only been tested 3 times. He says there's been several opponents that said that David Morrell, you know, they were tested by VADA, but David Morrell wasn't. He says there's been several or 2 fighters that said that, you know, who said that about David Morrell, that they were tested for VADA, but David Morrell was not tested for VADA. You know, he said him and I, you know, Caleb Plant started testing around 13, 14 weeks. Him and Dubu around 14 weeks. He said, and now, you know, David Morrell has been consistently dodging VADA, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, with at least 2 other fighters that said they was tested and Morrell wasn't. And how is he getting away with it? I mean, shit, they let Pacquiao get away with it. Remember, Adrian Broner started bitching, complaining, said we wasn't testing. Remember, Thurman said we wasn't testing. All of a sudden, when they brought it up to the media, they started testing Manny Pacquiao. So, my thing is, if he ain't testing, pull out the fight then. Because a lot of people saying, well, this is a built-in excuse. And my whole thing is this, and I didn't hear Morrell say nothing bad about Ryan Garcia. David Benavidez pretty much tried to stay out of it and stay on this Mexican code, right? You know, that's what he tried to do, right? But my thing is this. A lot of people's coming around saying steroids don't matter, PEDs don't matter, it's all about the skill. Well, I'll skill him then, David Benavidez. Fuck the drug testing, because that's what they told Devin Haney. It didn't matter. He still lost. He shouldn't have fought to take the loss off the resume. I ain't trying to hear that, because there's a lot of hypocrites around here who's turning around saying that defending Mayweather, when he brought up random drug testing to dodge Manny Pacquiao, when Pacquiao wouldn't take testing, I was like, okay, which one is it? When, you know, it's a guy that y'all like, it's the testing on, you know, testing, you know, y'all don't like testing don't matter. When it's the guy that y'all look like, oh man, he ain't testing. My thing is, guess what? Ain't no fight if y'all ain't testing. That, if I'm David Benavidez, that's what I say. Ain't no fight unless we testing. What's wrong with that? Ain't no fight unless we testing. Straight up, ain't no fight unless we testing. I don't understand the issue past that. Ain't no fight unless we testing. And if we ain't testing, it's no fight. Them papers should have been signed right then and there. Now, did David Morrell get out of character? You know, when Benavidez in Miami accused him of being on dope, yeah, he started going to belt and started acting crazy and shit. You don't get offended if you ain't no dirty ass fighter. You don't get offended if you ain't no dirty ass fighter. And, you know, there's a possibility that he a dirty ass fighter. There's a strong possibility. You know, because we just know how the sport of boxing is today. So that's my thing about it. Don't fight him if he ain't tested. I mean, that said a lot about PBC, where they're allowing guys to test, but their opponents don't have to test. And what Benavidez is saying is true. And if you lose, you know, you're gonna go, oh, with no testing. And he like, I'm not calling him a steroid user, but I'm just saying, yes, you are. Stop throwing underhand, you know, sneak dissing. You're saying you believe he on PEDs. That's exactly what you're saying. He said, well, nobody ever accused me of being on PEDs or nothing like that. Man, I don't know about none of that shit. I'll just be quiet, but I don't know about none of that, all that. I've heard some things. Not saying that they true. I've heard some things. You know, but you hear things about everybody in the sport of boxing, right? So, it could be like a little hate. But if y'all ain't testing, then we ain't fighting. That's how I'm going. If we ain't testing, we ain't fighting. Because really, what you gaining from this fight for real? You ain't really gaining shit from this fight. It's a big fight amongst the hardcore. That's in, you know, that might do, if it's lucky, it might do 75,000 buys. Ain't no humongous fight. It ain't for the coach. It's for the culture. It's for the hardcore culture. Ain't no. And people gonna say, well, you know, look at what Jake Paul and Mike Tyson did. See, this proves that, you know, fans don't care nothing about hardcore fights or the best fighting the best. We got to make more of these clown fights. That's what they gonna say. It's gonna justify all these niggas not fighting and keep bum bashing. It don't matter. The fans not gonna pay for it regardless. But if you don't market a particular fighter the right way, then it ain't gonna matter. You have to market these guys. You have to properly promote these guys. You know? Real talk, you have to properly promote these guys. That's the deal. But yeah, it should be no fight then. Why ain't, you know, that's a great question. Why ain't testing? I mean, somebody on that live stream I did Friday brought up the situation with Carmel Moan. I didn't know nothing about a lost drug test or nothing. I ain't know nothing about that. Nothing about that shit, but like I said, I gotta continue to say, man, it is what it is. You know, it's your choice to go in there and fight them. Is the money more important or your integrity more important? So, you know, if he ain't been tested, man, I'm telling you, that said a lot about PBC. This is why, in my opinion, this is why they got a non-disclosure agreement on drug testing. Where they don't say nothing about who testing and who not testing. This is why there's nothing being said about it. Now you have your answer why, because some guys is testing and other guys ain't testing. I guarantee you, in my opinion, if somebody, you know, come up a little funny, it's under that rug, right? We know how they coming, no diddy. We know what the deal is. We know exactly how they moving, bro. It's a reason why they keep all that shit under wraps. It's a reason why they keep all that shit under wraps. You see the same thing with Sean Porter and Bud. They did testing, but they kept it under wraps. They wanted to keep everything under wraps. Like, what? I mean, you got something to hide, nigga? You got something to hide? Like, okay, people, like, come on, man. How many guys probably in the pop time and they paid and they kept it under wraps and they paid the other fighters some money and the fight continued to go on? Come on. They don't care nothing about the intent. Like Mayweather, I said this about in that video I did about Mayweather and Usyk. Like, Mayweather ain't give a fuck about the integrity of the sport or PED testing or nothing like that. He just didn't want to fight Pacquiao. If it was no Manny Pacquiao with a picture of drug test, Olympic style drug testing would not exist in boxing. He was scared to take an ass whooping. That's it. He was scared to take an ass whooping. Nothing more, nothing less. He was scared to take an ass whooping. He hid behind drug testing not to fight Manny Pacquiao. Real talk. He hid behind drug testing not to fight Manny Pacquiao. That's it. So, it is what it is. Yeah, don't complain. Don't keep like complaining, because a lot of people are just gonna be like, "Oh, this nigga making excuses." So if he lose, guess what? If he ain't tested to your satisfaction, right? If he ain't tested to your satisfaction, right? Yeah, if he ain't tested to your satisfaction, don't take the fight. Don't take the fight. If he ain't tested to your satisfaction, don't take the motherfucking fight. Then we ain't got to hear about you complain. Real spill. So, yeah, let me know what you girls and guys think. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. That subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit the link tree, join the Patreon, find me on X, Instagram, Facebook. Fastest way to find me. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, the whole 9. Hit the link tree, find me wherever. Peace.